welcome to Last Week in AWS. Let's get into it. Amazon Aurora and Amazon RDS announces extended support for MySQL and PostgreSQL databases. You can now pay more to run ancient versions of your database. Database upgrades are scary, and our favorite and increasingly rent-seeking cloud provider is willing to take your money to avoid that pain. Amazon CloudWatch adds Amazon EKS control plane logs as vended logs. Exorbitantly priced logs are now less exorbitant once you generate enough of them to get into the more reasonable pricing tiers. Amazon CloudWatch Logs announces regular expression filter pattern syntax support. As Swift on Security pointed out a week or two ago, a lot of folks can now discover firsthand just how many of their rules allow all 10-star traffic, like 101.25.26.94, because the admin or programmer didn't realize 10.star is a regular expression. Introducing Amazon EC2 R7IZ instances. This is awesome, and I'm sure somebody's getting fired because it doesn't mention generative AI even once. AWS Marketplace now supports AWS CloudTrail to improve procurement activity monitoring. Who the hell was embezzling money via the AWS Marketplace is now way easier to track down. AWS Step Functions launches enhanced error handling. Custom error messages rather than guess, check, be wrong, give up. Sign me up, please. AWS Trusted Advisor adds one new fault tolerance check. Trusted Advisor, motto, we know how to save you money / be more secure / ensure greater reliability, but we won't tell you unless you pay us at least $100 a month per account, now has another check of questionable value to sell you. Announcing daily disbursements for AWS Marketplace sellers. Earlier this year, we had a client opt to pay us for a consulting project through the AWS Marketplace, and I've got to say I don't care about daily disbursements. It was still the most complicated, convoluted way to get paid that I've encountered in recent memory. It took several support tickets just to get their system to do what it says on the tin. Burn the thing down and start over. Good Lord. Embracing FinOps to maximize cloud value and control costs with the Deloitte FinOps framework. Yes, to save money in cloud, choose Deloitte, a company so forward-looking that their website redirects to a www2 subdomain. Nothing quite says we're having some challenges with our digital transformation quite like that. The galling part is that they purport to help other companies with the same thing they've obviously stumbled with. Transforming aviation maintenance with the Infosys generative AI solution built on Amazon Bedrock. Disclosure, my lawyer wife works at Infosys. They pay my health insurance. She's great. Please continue not suing me, sweetie, and happy anniversary. Now then, what the hell kind of travesty is this? Bedrock is in private preview and not available for general customer use yet, and the marketing story they're going with here is using it for something as finicky, sensitive, high-touch, and important as aviation maintenance? What the hell does AWS think it's doing here exactly? How Vercel shipped cron jobs in 2 months using Amazon EventBridge Scheduler. 0, 0, 1, */2, star is how you do it in 2 months. You're welcome. How contact center leaders can prepare for generative AI. The real answer / subtext here is that you should start preparing lists of who you're going to lay off as soon as the robot is good enough to take their job away. As a customer, yuck. A culture of resilience. Yes, when your stock price has been flat, your employee perks aren't as terrific, you've besieged your workforce with layoffs, then you mandate a ham-fisted and poorly justified return to office strategy? Yeah, your company is absolutely going to need a culture of resilience. How generative AI is energizing the beauty industry. This is clearly a partnership deal since the pig of generative AI, as exists at AWS, sure does need a lot of lipstick. Migrating AWS Direct Connect to a new location. Having done multiple data center moves over the course of my career, I can safely say that the best approach is to start by taking a good inventory of your existing data center, then burn the thing to the ground for the insurance money so you can start over. Reduce the security and compliance risks of messaging apps with AWS Wicker. Titling a blog post about their hyper-secure newly acquired messaging toy with the phrase, "reduce the security and," shows the lack of attention to detail so much of AWS's marketing efforts have exhibited lately. Methinks the layoffs have cut too deep. AWS Guild Tournament builds cloud skills and innovative customer solutions. How does the attendees' personal hygiene at one of these things compare to a Magic the Gathering tournament? From chocolate sales to a career in cloud with training from AWS Restart. At my startup tier of account managers, which is solely based upon spend levels, the majority of them were selling mattresses, used cars, and gym memberships 2 months ago. Most of them haven't been great, but don't worry, they sure don't last long before being rotated out again. I think I'm on something like my 8th so far. And finally, Amazon to discontinue Honeycode app building service. AWS won't make an announcement about it in its usual places, so here's a Business Insider link talking about it behind a paywall. It brings me no pleasure to say that I was right a few years ago in my fear that AWS would screw up the low-code arena and set the field back years in the process. I like low-code tools. I write my newsletter and prepare this podcast in one powered by Retool that I use to build an entire production system. Shame that AWS can't get out of its own way or admit to itself that some markets are ones that it is not poised well to serve. And that's what happened last week in AWS. I'm cloud economist Corey Quinn. Onward we go.